Do you drink enough water each day? Do you know how much is enough and how much is too much? Well, you're in the right place. Aloha, I'm Dr. Luna Knoll. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe so that you get all of my latest information. Today, we're talking about water intake. I've been blessed to have students in my life, both in the classroom as well as in clinic. I think one of the things they're usually most amazed about is the number of patients that I talk with about their water intake. Most patients don't get nearly enough water. Few get too much, so it's really important to know exactly how much is needed. Most of us know that the earth is about 70% water and our adult body is about 60% water. But that water is not evenly distributed across all body systems. So for instance, our muscles are about 75% water, whereas our blood is 80 to 85% water, and our brain is 95% water. So if we're not getting enough water, our bodies are certainly not working optimally. Lack of water or dehydration in any degree can cause problems like kidney function, urinary tract infections, kidney stones, dry skin, chapped lips, heart arrhythmias, increased heart rate, muscle cramps, brain fog, dizziness, drowsiness, and constipation too. Water allows our bodies to work at their optimal level. Without enough water, our kidneys don't function properly. Without enough water, we don't have enough blood volume. And blood is how we actually carry oxygen to all of our tissues. If we're not drinking enough water each day, we don't have enough blood volume to really oxygenate all of our tissues. Our heart is just like a pump in a swimming pool or in a fish pond. And without enough water, those other pumps run dry and can burn out the motors. The same is true of our heart. Our heart needs enough water to pump the blood easily. Without enough water, we can literally send our heart into arrhythmias, rhythms that are not functional and can really hurt us. I had a patient not too long ago who was not drinking enough water. First, she passed out because the dizziness, not having enough water. Secondly, she sent herself into AFib, an irregular heartbeat. When she was taken to the emergency room, they literally filled her with fluids. That's all it took. Put her back into a normal heart rate and brought her back. She was lucky. Some patients aren't that lucky. Sometimes when you get that dehydrated, you don't just lose function temporarily. Sometimes you can lose function altogether. So therefore, it's really important to make sure that you're drinking enough water to allow your body to operate properly. One of the challenges of drinking enough water is that as we mature, we begin to lose the sense of thirst. And as we do that, it makes it challenging to know if we're drinking enough water or not. When we don't feel thirsty, oftentimes we don't drink the water that we need to drink. I recommend either lining your bottles of water up for the day or keeping a tally on them. Either way, hold yourself accountable and make sure you know exactly how much water you've had each day. What is the right amount of water? As a general rule of thumb, it's 2 to 3 liters of water a day. 64 ounces to 90-ish ounces a day is a general rule of thumb. Anything over 3 liters of water a day, you need to supplement with electrolytes, or you will dilute the sodium in your bodies too much. Anything under 64 ounces of water a day, and we're not hydrating our body systems the way that we need to. The 2 bottles on the left are both 16.9 ounces, half a liter, 500 milliliters. The bottle in the middle is 1 liter. The bottle on the right is 1.5 liters. So depending on the size, depends on how much you need. On the left, you need 4 to 6 of those a day. In the middle, 2 to 3. On the far right, almost 2. Ideas for adding back in electrolytes when you've had more than 3 liters of water a day. Take in a quart of Gatorade or some of the hydration supplements that you see. But if you'll add that back in, it will rebalance your electrolytes and keep everything in the right place for you. I often have patients ask me, well, is there one type of water better than another? Well, ideally it's spring water. Distilled water takes too much of the natural stuff out. Purified water sometimes leaves too much in. So spring water is best if you can. In terms of one better than another, you kind of have to find what fits right for you. Some of the alkaline waters like Fiji water are excellent, and sometimes alkaline can even bother people's stomach. You need to find what fits best for you. And what I hear most often from patients is, oh, well, I drink coffee and tea all day long. Oh, that doesn't count. Coffee dehydrates you. Most teas dehydrate you. Juice doesn't count. Soda doesn't count. Anything that has sugar in it doesn't count. And certainly alcohol does not count. Alcohol also dehydrates you. So if you're drinking beverages that dehydrate you, you need to increase your water intake just to account for the dehydration from some of the other beverages. One of the things I really recommend is front loading the day. What do I mean by that? Before my first cup of coffee, I have one 16.9 ounce bottle of water. I line my bottles up so that I can make sure I drink enough in the proper time frame. Shouldn't be up all night going to the bathroom. That prevents you from sleeping well. If you get up at 6 and you go to bed at 9 and you're not drinking any water the last 2 or 3 hours before you go to bed, you've got 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Divide that day in half at noon. I need 3 bottles before, 3 bottles after. I'm front loading my day. That way I start tapering my water intake off around 6 o'clock in the evenings so that I'm not up all night in the restroom and I'm actually sleeping well. Just like plants, we need the exact right balance. Too little water will shrivel up and die. Too much water and we'll drown, or we'll end up with hyponatremia, dilute our electrolytes. Some of the benefits of drinking water, in addition to the other things that we've already talked about, is that water helps flush out your body. Water helps flush the toxins from your body. Water keeps your kidneys working better as it helps flush them. Most all medications that we take either exit our body through our kidneys or through our liver. So we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to flush our kidneys properly so that we keep our kidneys working optimally. That's a pretty big deal. We certainly don't want to end up with our kidneys not working well and end up on dialysis. From a spiritual standpoint, water is the emotional body. Water allows us to process our emotions. Water helps the emotions to flow instead of stagnating. Water can also help put us in touch with our emotions, and it helps to cleanse our emotions as well. You deserve to be healthy. You deserve to take care of yourself. And drinking the proper amount of water each day is one of the easiest and best ways to take care of yourself. If you enjoyed this video, you might also enjoy this next one. And if you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for being here as we continue growing and healing together. I hope to see you again soon. Aloha.